What's up, guys? Beerus here on the Miles Burger channel. It's been like a week, but that's beside the point. Here today, I'm going to be doing my top 10 WrestleManias of all time. List is a little bit different than I guess your average list, but it's something I wanted to do because, of course, it's WrestleMania. You're not getting much better than that. And without further ado, let's go. Alright, starting off with WrestleMania 7. Now, I will be straight up, I did not watch this whole WrestleMania, nor have I seen anywhere near all the matches. However, I love this WrestleMania for a couple reasons. One, the Hogan Slaughter storyline leading up to this I thought was great because it was a taboo topic. It was something that most people wouldn't see back then. Another one of my favorite matches of all time, is Warrior and Savage. Probably Warrior's greatest match. Definitely better than him and Hogan at 6. And of course, another personal favorite of mine, even though the match really wasn't any good, it was the beginning of the streak. And I am a huge fan of the streak. Most people are. And, of course, it's over, but we'll get to that later. But just the storyline leading into the main event was very good. Warrior and Savage. Again, love the match. And I enjoyed what I saw of it. Okay, so this one, again, I have not seen everything from it, but the importance of this WrestleMania, it has to be on here. Of course, Hogan and Andre. The match itself was terrible. It sucked. But the importance of the match where Hogan slammed Andre and really set the bar for wrestling, for Hogan, everything, it's great to watch. I will still watch the match here and there, and I enjoy it, even though, again, it isn't really a good match. Also, vice versa, that good match, Ricky Steamboat and Randy Savage. I haven't watched it for a while, but it was a phenomenal match, especially for back here when you really didn't get matches like that. And there was some other stuff. There was Roddy Piper versus, I believe it was, I can't remember his name. But there was some other cool stuff with like Bun B and all that. But of course, the importance to this WrestleMania is what makes it that high on this list. It was Adrian Adonis. Anyway, WrestleMania 16, or commonly referred to as WrestleMania 2000. A lot of people don't particularly care about this one. I loved it. You had the hardcore title match, which was a clusterfuck, and if you've seen a lot of PGW matches, you know I love clusterfuck matches, like Money in the Bank and all that. And then later on, you have another one in the multi-man ladder match, which started off a series of great matches. The Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian, which I still love watching those matches. I just watched one before Missionary 36. Then there's some other cool stuff. You had the triple threat between Benoit, Angle, and Jericho, which I haven't watched, and I feel like I should. I feel like it was a great match, and if it wasn't, that's upsetting. And in the main event, again, a lot of people don't like it. I loved it. It was crazy. It was a clusterfuck, and it was, in my opinion, a great match. Like, the match was really brutal. It was really good. It was solid. And I kind of wish we had more matches like that here and there, but I really like this WrestleMania overall. WrestleMania 20, where it all begins again. This WrestleMania is so undercredited because, of course, the issues involving the winner of the main event, but I'll get to that in a second. Of course, you have the greatest match of all time between Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg. No, I'm kidding, that match sucked, but the ending was great. Stone Cold stuns them both out of the ring, and the fans were great. Rock and Sock connection. I mean, it's the Rock and Sock connection. They're great. They're both great on their own. They're great together. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, Eddie and Kurt, great. Because it's Eddie and Kurt. You can't really get much different. Jericho and Christian, not gonna lie, really don't care about that. The return of the Dead Man, love that. The match itself, again, wasn't great. The entrance was great, I love that. And it's The Undertaker, so no more questions asked. Cena's little rise. However, of course, the biggest part of this WrestleMania is when Chris Benoit won the world championship. I don't give a damn what your thoughts are on the whole murder thing. I look at it like this. The match was phenomenal. It was one of the greatest matches of all time. In the celebration, I go back and watch that with Jim Ross on commentary. I get goosebumps watching that shit. It is the single-handedly greatest championship win of all time. It is so emotional, so special. He earned every bit of it. Again, what happened is ridiculously unfortunate, but at the same time, it does not ruin that moment for me in the slightest. I love that moment, and that makes that WrestleMania on this list. WrestleMania 22 again. Another one that really, for most people, isn't this high on the list. Here's why it's on mine. You have Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank was pretty damn good at this WrestleMania, if I recall. Shawn Michaels versus McMahon. Very good match, especially for Vince being old. Undertaker, Mark Henry. I enjoyed that match. I know a lot of people don't really care for it. I enjoyed it. And, again, my opinion. Only one that matters. Anyway. Of course, one of my all-time favorite matches, Edge and Mick Foley. God damn, that was awesome. Spear through the table, which apparently was Edge's idea. Got that off What Culture? That spot is phenomenal. You're not getting much better than that. How sketchy it was. A match that I think is undercredited, which I wish would have been more, but it was a good match for what it was, is when Kurt, Ray, and Orton. I thought it was a really good match. I thought, again, it was short and sweet. It was good. It was solid. Quick pace. There were some good spots, and Ray got his moment. The only thing I have about this one is I never really cared for the main event between Cena and Triple H. But otherwise, this WrestleMania was really good. It had a lot of good, solid matches. Once in a lifetime, my ass. That aside, I love this WrestleMania. It was, I remember watching this one when I was younger, and of course, we'll get to the one match that stuck out to me, but really I enjoyed it just even back then. I enjoyed the hell out of it. You know, the stage was cool, which really doesn't affect the show, but piss off. Big Show and Cody. I like Big Show getting his moment. I'm a Big Show fan. I like the Big Show. Kane and Orton. I like those two going at it because I like Kane and I like Orton. Sheamus and Daniel Bryan. Everyone hates that. I loved it back then because I was a big Sheamus fan. I didn't like Bryan because, again, I was young. And I still don't mind it to this day because I'm going to be that guy. I don't really care for Daniel Bryan, so shoot me now. The manager match, that was dumb. That was dumb. But Jericho and Punk, we'll start with that one. Phenomenal matchup. I wish Jericho would have won the Rumble leading up to it, but otherwise it was a phenomenal matchup. And it's from two of the best in the world. I mean, come on now. Cena Rock, at first I hated the match, then I rewatched it a little bit ago. But I enjoyed it. It wasn't a great match, but it was a good match, and it was a good build-up. I personally didn't mind The Rock winning cleanly because I like The Rock and don't really care for Cena. And of course, one of the matches, honestly, I think it's my second favorite match of all time. Undertaker, Triple H, Hell in a Cell. That match is so goddamn good. I mean, the emotion, the drama, the tension, the sell, everything. Shawn is the referee. When he hit that super kick into the pedigree, I thought it was over. And he kicked that. I love that. I love that match. That is one of my favorite of all time. And that match alone sets it on this list. Okay, we had to get to this one, and we all know why I'm sad. But before we get to that part, at this WrestleMania, you had Bryan's rise to the top. Again, I said, I'm pretty sure, last one, I don't really care for Bryan, but to a lighter extent, one of the better championship wins in history. You know, with all the confetti and all the happiness surrounding it. I mean, Bryan did earn that moment, no matter what. And the main event was phenomenal. I really enjoyed Batista, Orton, and Bryan. I thought it was great. Cena Wyatt, haven't watched it. Bray should have won. That's in Bobo. Timothy Bobo. One of my favorite moments from this WrestleMania, actually, was Cesaro winning the Memorial. I thought that was really good, and it should have been for more, but, we won't talk about that. But I thought that was really good. The Divas match, couldn't care less, not going to lie. I think since they had Paige win it the next night, they should have had her come in there. But, stupidity, and she's a whore anyway. But, of course, the main reason it's on this list is because the single-handedly greatest treasure in WrestleMania history came to an end when Brock Lesnar broke the streak. And I'll be honest, the match itself sucked. I was looking forward to the match for 2 years, and it sucked. But the shock, I couldn't think straight the next day at school. Like, that was all I concerned with. If you could have told me I could have had a straight F, and I wouldn't have given a shit because of that match and the result. It was beyond shocking. It was, in my opinion, the saddest moment in WrestleMania history. And you're never going, Lesnar shouldn't have broke it, blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you right now, you're never going to get a moment like that again. I promise you that. That moment is shocking, it's sad, and it will live on in the annals of wrestling history forever. WrestleMania 31. I think some people would argue that it should be this high on the list, but there's so much shit from this WrestleMania I can go back and watch. We'll start off with the opener. I very much enjoyed that match, especially Ambrose nearly dying. I thought it was pretty funny, but also badass at the same time. It was a great match. The second greatest RKO out of nowhere of all time. When, I don't know, it might be first. I mean, that was phenomenal. The curb stomp into the RKO. That was sweet. Cena Rusev. Rusev's entrance was the shit. That is such an undercredited entrance. I know it's just an entrance, but it was so cool. Just got cut off, damn it. But Rusev's entrance was awesome. What else? Sting Triple H. It was cool to watch NWO DX. Yes, it should have happened way sooner. But it was cool. It happened. Sting in a WWE ring. That's also pretty cool. The match was eh. But overall, the moments themselves, it was good enough for me. The Ronda Rousey segment, I'm not going to lie. I really couldn't care about that. I don't care. I never really cared that much for her. But it was a cool little segment with The Rock. I love The Rock. Undertaker Bray Wyatt was a decent match. It was pretty good. And then the main event, I love the main event. It's one of my favorite matches to watch. It is so hard-hitting and so physical. It made me respect Roman Reigns a lot more. And, you can argue it's wrestling. It's Brock Lesnar. He beat the fuck out of Roman Reigns. Reigns beat the fuck out of him. It was a brutal, brutal, brutal match. I love it. I actually just watched that one before Missionary, I think, too. And then to top it off, you had a phenomenal cash-in with Rollins, which I don't like Seth Rollins. I really don't. But the cash-in was great. I mean, you really had to think to see that one coming. In my opinion, it's one of the greatest cash-ins of all time. Maybe even the greatest. But again, the main event was phenomenal. And there was so much other side stuff that was really good that's why it's as high on the list. Why is this WrestleMania not given more credit? Honest to God, they should talk about this one more. For mainly 4 reasons. You can scratch the rest of the card, and honestly, it wouldn't matter because of these 4 reasons. Let's start off with Jericho-Shawn. I have actually not watched this match yet. I haven't, and I should. But from what I hear, it's a technical classic, and the ending, I love it. They hug, it's an emotional moment, then boom, nut shot. You know me, I love giving people nut shots, and I love watching people take them, but it was a great moment. It was a great moment for Jericho. It was a great moment for Shawn. Not really a great moment for Shawn. It probably sucked ass for Shawn, but it was a great moment. Then you have Hogan and Vince, and for 2 old guys, goddamn, did they have a good match. Was it technical? No. It was a brutal, bloody match where Vince, I'm shocked he didn't break his ass doing the leg drop, but it was a good match. You even got to see Roddy Piper, which was rather strange, but it's Roddy Piper. Gotta love Roddy Piper. Then you go on to Stone Cold and The Rock, which is a great match. It's a phenomenal match. And it was a great story because it told, it showed The Rock finally getting his victory over Austin. And to top it off, it was Stone Cold's last match. And the thing, what adds a little more to it for me is, what happened to him just a day before we had to go to the hospital. It adds a little more to that for me. and it was a great emotional moment. And the main event. The main event should be given so much more credit. Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, WWE title. If you want to take high school amateur wrestling and professional wrestling and get something that is a work of God, that is this match. This match is a technical classic. It has Lesnar nearly dying, Kurt doing it with an injured, I think, broken neck. And it's phenomenal. It's one of the greatest main events of all time. And, I mean, it's so good to watch if you are an amateur wrestling fan or a professional wrestling fan. And it's really all else I can say. It's just that damn good. And, yeah, we have honorable mentions, too. On a side note, before I talk about this, sorry for no love for the honorable mentions, but WrestleMania 24 was the first one I saw live. So, yeah, that one does hold a special place in my heart. Anyway, WrestleMania 17. Obviously, I should have put WrestleMania 9 as the number one because what WrestleMania is better than WrestleMania 9? No, I'm kidding. This WrestleMania is the shit. It is the shit all the way around. Look, I mean, how do I even start this? You know, we'll start with the picture I see. Kurt Angle and Benoit. That's self-explanatory. It's Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. Okay. So you have some side low-card matches, which, again, I don't really care about. One of my favorite matches from this WrestleMania that I think is undercredited is Kane, Big Show, and Raven. I've watched that match since, 2007. I love that match. It's so hardcore. It's so extreme. Raven getting cut open from the glass, the golf cart, the ending spot, the door, the wall. Oh, my God. It's so fun to watch. It's great. And plus, apparently, Raven almost knocked the power out. That's funny. TLC 2, we'll go to that now. Oh my God, this match is orgasmic. Again, just watched it before Missionary 36. The amount of spots in this match that make you go, yeah, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead. And it's just such a great match. It is the best of the three they had, and all three were phenomenal. All three were legendary. But this one is just unreal. You got to see Lita in a bra, which of course is orgasmic again. But the match is phenomenal. It's great. Vince and Shane, the match itself, I didn't really care for. But Vince just getting kicked in the nuts by Linda, slapped in the face by Trish, Shane kicking his ass, Foley getting involved. I mean, that's great. It's funny. It's great. It tells a story. And it's good to be on there. It's fun to watch. Then you move on to my favorite match of this card, is Undertaker Triple H. When I was younger, I thought this match was a street fight. I really did. Because it's nuts. It is crazy. The choke slam. The sledgehammer shot. I'm pretty sure they use a chair at some point. Going into the crowd, just beating the hell out of each other. And it's probably Undertaker's greatest WrestleMania match up until, in my opinion, Edge or Shawn. I mean, it is such a great match. And it's definitely better than their 27 match, in my opinion. That might be an unpopular opinion. I love this match. And it's one of the earliest matches I ever watched as a wrestling fan. And then the main event. Stone Cold and The Rock. Great match. But that's not the most important part, in my opinion. Stone Cold turning heel. I don't give a crap what people say about it. I don't give a shit. I love watching this heel turn. This heel turn is so awesome. Jim Ross is flipping out on commentary on how evil Austin's becoming. Vince giving him the chair. And half the chair shots look like they don't even make contact. But who the hell cares? It's so awesome to watch Stone Cold covered in blood winning the title in this fucked up way. It's so awesome. It's the second greatest heel turn in wrestling history. If you don't know what number one is, you're dumb. But this WrestleMania 17 is phenomenal in every single possible way. And it is the greatest WrestleMania of all time. So, we have music to play. I hope you all enjoyed my little top 10 for WrestleMania. I hope WrestleMania 33 is phenomenal. I don't think it's going to be, but I'm still going to look forward to it because it's WrestleMania. It's what wrestling fans love the most about wrestling. It's Wrestle-fucking-mania. I hope you all enjoyed my top 10, and, well, I'll see you guys at another point in time. Have a good one.